Thank you for coming. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meeting of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is disclosed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the State Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Department of Education, the Secretary of State's office, and notice has been given to the State House Press Corps, the Governor's Office, and the State Board Agenda subscribers. As a quorum is present, this meeting will now come to order. May I please have a motion? Thank you very much, Board Member Bennett. May I please have a second? Thank you very much, Board Member Pena. And now, we need to go into executive session. We should be back by 10 o'clock. Whereas, in order to protect the personal privacy and to avoid situations wherein the public interest might be disturbed, the Open Public Meetings Act permits public bodies to exclude the public from that portion of a meeting at which certain matters are discussed. Now, therefore, be it resolved that consistent with the provision of NJSA 10:4-12B, the State Board of Education will now adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel and legal matters. Therefore, may I please have a motion? Thank you, Board Member Berry, and a second. Thank you very much, Board Member Shahada. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, and we will be back, I would say, by 10 a.m. So thank you very, very much.
Remember that teacher who changed your life? You could be that teacher. New Jersey has some of the best public schools in the country with competitive salaries and valuable benefits. Be that teacher. Visit teachinspire.nj.gov. Remember that teacher who changed your life? You could be that teacher in New Jersey. You'll help shape the next generation alongside a dedicated community of educators. New Jersey has some of the best public schools in the country with competitive salaries, valuable benefits, and a solid pension plan. So be that teacher. Make an impact. Teach, Inspire, New Jersey. To learn more, visit teachinspire.nj.gov. If you're a teacher, you've had students tell you how much you mean to them. And for everyone who does, more feel that way but may not say it. Remember that teacher who changed your life? You're that teacher to a lot of people. Teach, Inspire, New Jersey. If you're a teacher, you've probably had students tell you how much you mean to them. And for everyone who does, there are more who feel that way but may not say it. You can't know how many, but it's more than you think. Because you've done more than teach. You've inspired. Remember that teacher who changed your life? You're that teacher to a lot of people. Teach, Inspire, New Jersey.
¿Recuerda a aquel maestro que le cambió la vida? Usted podría ser ese maestro en Nueva Jersey. Únase a la comunidad de educadores que ayudará a formar a la próxima generación. Nueva Jersey cuenta con algunas de las mejores escuelas públicas del país, con salarios competitivos, beneficios atractivos y un sólido plan de pensiones. Sea ese maestro. Deje huella. Enseñe, inspire. Nueva Jersey. Visite teachinspire.nj.gov.
Remember that teacher who changed your life? You could be that teacher. New Jersey has some of the best public schools in the country with competitive salaries and valuable benefits. Be that teacher. Visit teachinspire.nj.gov. Remember that teacher who changed your life? You could be that teacher in New Jersey. You'll help shape the next generation alongside a dedicated community of educators. New Jersey has some of the best public schools in the country with competitive salaries, valuable benefits, and a solid pension plan. So be that teacher. Make an impact. Teach, Inspire, New Jersey. To learn more, visit teachinspire.nj.gov. If you're a teacher, you've had students tell you how much you mean to them. And for everyone who does, more feel that way but may not say it. Remember that teacher who changed your life? You're that teacher to a lot of people. Teach, Inspire, New Jersey. If you're a teacher, you've probably had students tell you how much you mean to them. And for everyone who does, there are more who feel that way but may not say it. You can't know how many, but it's more than you think. Because you've done more than teach. You've inspired. Remember that teacher who changed your life? You're that teacher to a lot of people. Teach, inspire, New Jersey.
¿Recuerda a aquel maestro que le cambió la vida? Usted podría ser ese maestro en Nueva
Good morning,
Jersey.
everyone. Nice to see you all. We have such wonderful things to celebrate today but we'll get there. I'd like to please first begin by reconvening to our public meeting session of today. Whereas consistent with the provision NJSA 10:4-12B, the State Board will now adjourn from executive session to resume the open session portion of our meeting. So may I please have a motion? Thank you very much, Board Member Payne. You may I please have a second? Second. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Now, I would like to ask Board Member Bennett if she would lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. With closed captioning. If you are viewing our simulcast, Dr. Butcher, and could I please get a second? Thank you. I appreciate it. Board Member Pena, are there any questions or additions? Hearing none at this time, I'd like to go ahead, and I have 3 items to discuss today in the beginning of our meeting. First, I'd like to introduce you to our phenomenal State Board Permanent Representative. She is our student from East Brunswick High School in Middlesex County. Her name is Kaylin DeRose. She's a junior. Her advisor is Bonnie Bencard. Could you stand up? Thank you. Thank you very much. I was very proud, Kaylin, to see you at the conference that we all attended. And you spoke beautifully and remarkably reassuring that our youth is ready for the future. And I could not be more proud. So thank you for everything that you've already done.
Thank you so much, President Goldenberg. It was truly an honor to be there and help represent the State Board of Education.
Thank you. Did a great job. Okay, so I understand that you have some remarks that you'd like to share with us today.
Yes, thank you, President Goldenberg, and good morning, everyone. Technology has become a common friend and foe of the education system, from aiding in lessons and virtual schooling to class distractions or plagiarism. New technology impacts teachers, parents, and students within and outside the classroom. New Jersey schools are currently adapting to new technology and building policies around AI usage for students. However, how can students ensure that these policies are effective and helpful for the students that they serve? Artificial intelligence wasn't invented overnight. It's been embedded in social media algorithms and has been used in scientific research for years. AI overviews can be found in major search engines, and students have become familiar with programs such as ChatGPT, often using it to aid in schoolwork. The prevalence of AI, specifically generative AI in the workforce, has also exponentially grown. According to Forbes, 81% of hiring managers now consider AI-related skills a hiring priority, making them the most sought-after capabilities in 2025. When asking students about situations where they believe it's fair to use AI, some students claim to use it for menial work or creating study guides and notes. However, many do agree that AI should not be involved in creative writing processes or visual arts. Even in classes which focuses on writing research or synthesis papers, such as AP Seminar or AP English Language, students use AI to check whether research is peer-reviewed, but don't use AI to plan a reasonable line of thinking for their own papers. What many students do wish for are more expansive and sophisticated AI policies. Students express concerns about AI checkers falsely flagging original work as AI generated. And some also point out the hypocrisy of using AI programs to evaluate schoolwork. Students who attend schools which are in the process of developing permanent AI policies wish for written processes on AI verification, along with appeals processes as AI usage falls under plagiarism in many cases. Furthermore, students wish that education on AI eventually be incorporated into school curriculums. Teaching AI in schools may sound troublesome, but similar to how computer science isn't about searching up classwork answers, AI literacy isn't encouraging students to use ChatGPT to complete assignments. Rather, students want to know the basics of how generative AI works and how AI tools can be used effectively and ethically in life so that they can be more successful when they use it as a resource or eventually or ultimately out in the workforce. Overall, students know that the role of AI should play in an academic space. That evidence is displayed by students using AI to develop study guides, create mnemonics for memorizing information, or evaluating the credibility of sources. However, students are also familiar with instances where AI has been used inappropriately in academic spaces. As students have become more versed in such technologies, many appreciate having a say in developing AI policies as schools catch up to the rapid development of artificial intelligence. Without AI literacy being directed in schools, some students have taken the learning and understanding of AI into their own hands. And whether that includes ethical limitations or information literacy is hard to say and cannot be guaranteed. Looking at how AI literacy can be incorporated into existing computer science programs and information literacy classes is a start to supporting students and enhancing values in New Jersey education. Students should have a supportive and reliable educational space to understand a tool which will become more relevant as time goes on.
Thank you very much. I believe Dr. Butcher has a question already.
Not a question, a comment. Thank you very, very much. And as you're about to learn, you couldn't be kicking this off with a better comment. Look at Jordan, Commissioner. I mean, the pros and cons of AI are, in my mind, probably one of the most significant things we're going to be dealing with in the next year. And we're going to start that discussion a little bit today, and it's going to continue through January as we begin talking about our student learning standards. So you have no idea how appropriate and how timely you kicked that off. Thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Are your classes currently employing AI in any of them?
So the East Brunswick School District actually has almost a stoplight that they use where each class in each structure can determine how much AI they want incorporated into their classes. For certain classes, such as math or even certain science classes, some teachers are a bit more lenient when it comes to developing study guides or notes, but generally it has been completely hands-off for English classes, and every single class does clearly state the AI the school district has and how that relates to the plagiarism policy. There's also a mandatory presentation that all students are also experienced.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else at this time?
I just want to say, wow, thank you so much. I actually, when we get our packet, the first thing I look at is what you've written. So I thank you for being a part of our board. I think you remind us of what's important, but I myself am struggling with where I fits in and how great it is. And I think you use those words, hands-off policy. I don't want us to be afraid of, and I think it is so important and could do so much good, but I think it needs to be really something that I'd love you to be part of a committee that's working with young people and with the education professionals on how are we going to properly incorporate AI, harness its power, and make it work for all of us. So thank you very much, always.
Thank you so much. And I will also say, I believe students do value that in general, where, especially for my school district, they also have a committee made of students and teachers when it comes to how they'll develop AI policies and understand AI technology. And that is incredibly valuable as students are a key stakeholder to that.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate so much your thoughts. Thank you. Very well done.
Thank you again, President.
Okay, for committee reports, the Instructional Policy Committee met on October 30th. And as Dr. Johnson is not able to be with us today, I'll provide the report. They met on October 30th to begin a series of discussions on draft revisions to the New Jersey Student Learning Standards. We discussed two content areas, predominantly career readiness, life literacies, and key skills, or CLICS as we're making the abbreviation for it, and science. Since this item is on today's agenda for discussion, I will refrain from providing a longer report at this time, and we'll all hear about it from the Department of Ed. And also we have a resolution to discuss in recognition of the Parent Teacher Association Membership Month within New Jersey. And I would like to ask our state board member, Dr. Butcher, to read the resolution. This resolution is intended to show how the State Board of Education appreciates all of the parents and the volunteers who work on behalf of our students, staff, and families in New Jersey school districts every day in so many ways. And so, could I please, before we read the resolution, have a motion to hear the resolution?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Board Member Bennett. And I'd like a second.
Second.
Thank you very much, Board Member Butcher. So please read the resolution.
This is a resolution in recognition of Parent Teachers Association membership monthly in New Jersey. Whereas the New Jersey Parent Teachers Association, the PTA, is an association advocating for the benefit of children's education and well-being by focusing attention on issues affecting youth and public education. And whereas for more than 125 years, the New Jersey Parent and Teachers Association has served the needs of children, teachers, parents, and schools through active volunteerism. And whereas the New Jersey PTA promotes family engagement in schools and communities, advocates for public education, and provides a network of local, state, and national voices speaking together on behalf of all children. And whereas among millions of members of the national PTA, the New Jersey PTA has more than 91,000 members in more than 600 local PTAs. And whereas the strength of the PTA lies in its membership, to volunteers who tirelessly devote themselves to making the world better for children and youth, and therefore be it resolved that the New Jersey State Board of Education and the Commissioner of Education encourage everyone to become advocates for children and show their support for their local PTA or the Garden State PTA, which is the statewide local PTA, and be it further resolved that the New Jersey State Board of Education and the Commissioner of Education commend the hardworking individuals and members serving in their local, state, and national roles in PTA, and recognize November 2025 New Jersey's PTA Membership Month. And we already have a motion.
Thank you. So we have a motion, we have a second. Are there any comments at this time? Otherwise? No. So all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
To accept the motion. Any opposed, please indicate by saying nay. And I suspect that it's unanimous, correct?
Correct.
All right, very good. So the motion passes. We have with us today Ms. Jackie Gibbs, the president of the New Jersey Parent Teacher Association, to say a few words and accept the resolution, as well as we have Sharon Roseborough, our immediate past president, who is here and is also in attendance. So thank you for being here. Thank you.
Put towards you. Got it. I'm gonna start over. Okay, here we are. Good morning. This month, we celebrate something truly powerful, and that is our members. We are the reason this organization can stand up to children or for children who need a voice. Every hour we volunteer, every conversation we spark, every action we take creates a ripple of change that reaches far beyond what we can see. Membership Month is not just about the members. It's about people choosing to believe every child deserves safety, opportunity, and hope. Together, we are stronger, louder, and more effective than any one of us could ever be. So today, we thank you. We thank you for your commitment, your compassion, and your belief in a brighter future for every child. On behalf of the New Jersey PTA, I would like to thank the State Board for presenting this recognition to us. And I would also like to invite everyone, if you are not part of the New Jersey PTA, Garden State PTA, you're welcome to join at newjerseypta.org. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Also, we had a petition for rulemaking from David Fishkin, who is in special education. State Board of Education received a petition for rulemaking on August 29th, 2025 from David Fishkin. The petitioner requested amendments to our Chapter 14, Special Education, to reduce the age at which a student with a disability is invited to attend and participate in the meeting of the Individualized Education Program, or IEP, team to discuss transition services for the student. The Commissioner and I reviewed the petition and determined that the proper course of action is to deny this request because the existing regulations at NJAC 6A:14 allow a student to be invited to an IEP team meeting younger than age 14 if appropriate. More details regarding this petition may be found in the department's website, newjersey.gov, Education Code Petitions Final 25. And so now we'll go ahead and continue to the commissioner's reports. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam President. We have a very exciting item on commissioner reports, but if you could all just bear with me for a minute, I want to take this opportunity. I think many of you are aware that the benefits to many of our students and families through the SNAP program are being delayed. And in response to that, Governor Murphy has taken serious action over the last few days, issuing an executive order that created a task force of which I'm a member, and we've been meeting numerous times over the last few days to coordinate state efforts to help address the needs of our students and families that are facing hunger. And the delay in getting those SNAP benefits out to those individuals impacts somewhere in the neighborhood of 300,000 students directly. And now when you get into November, we're looking at a week this week and in the coming weeks where we have a lot of half days or school closures. And school meals are a major source of meals to our students. So I'm flagging this because the Department of Education is working closely with all of our partner agencies to help address that directly and indirectly and to serve in any role that we can. This is an ask for all of you that if you have time, if you have food, or you have money that you are able to donate to help in this effort, I would ask that you do so. And we are going to continue to put resources out there. If you go to our homepage, there's a pop-up that comes up that shares additional information, and more will be coming through the coming days. So please, if you can, stay active with that. For our school districts, I would ask any way you can to support your students and your community. Please continue to do so, and we'll support you as we best can. So with that, this is the president mentioned we've got Thanksgiving coming up later this month. hunger is a serious issue every November, but particularly this month. So please help any way you can.
Thank you very much.
Uh,
We,
go
we
ahead.
had, sorry, we had a long discussion about this in executive too. So the best way to get involved is probably to contact either your county, your local school districts, different ways in order to help provide support for this initiative, correct?
That's right. And as I mentioned on our website, there's ways you can search for local food banks or hunger organizations in your local area. And I am positive they're going to be looking for volunteers or support, whether it's food or money right now. So please help any way you can.
Or time, yeah. Dr. Butchers,
Ms. Gibbs. Need I say anything? What a great opportunity for nation.
With that, I do want to get back. We have a very exciting item that I want to present on, and that is to recognize 11 schools as the 2025 New Jersey Blue Ribbon Schools. The National Blue Ribbon School program has historically honored America's most successful public and private elementary, middle, and high schools based on both high levels of student performance and significant progress in closing achievement gaps among different groups of students. Schools are identified each year across two categories: exemplary high performing and exemplary achievement gap closing. For 2025, 9 schools were nominated as exemplary high performing, 1 school was nominated as exemplary achievement gap closing, and 1 school was nominated as both exemplary high performing and exemplary achievement gap closing. Of the 11 schools being recognized today, the 9 public schools were nominated by the New Jersey Department of Education in January of this year, and the 2 private schools were nominated by the Council for American Private Education. All 11 schools completed the rigorous application process with the U.S. Department of Education and were certified in August 2025 as having met all eligibility criteria for the program. On August 29th, 2025, states received notification that the U.S. Department of Education would discontinue the National Blue Ribbon Schools program. So today, I want to properly honor and recognize those 11 New Jersey schools with a resolution. The criteria used to identify the National Blue Ribbon Schools were established by the U.S. Department of Education, but states have traditionally determined the specific performance measures used to identify public school nominees. The New Jersey Department of Education nominated schools based on criteria that aligns with the performance measures outlined in New Jersey's Every Student Succeeds Act, or ESSA, state plan, which puts an emphasis on student growth and student group performance. Although the National Blue Ribbon Schools program is ending, the New Jersey Department of Education is committed to identifying ways to continue to recognize exemplary schools of performance across the state. In a state often recognized as having the best schools in the country, these 11 schools exemplify this performance and the high standards we all share for quality education across the state. And so it is with that, I want to congratulate each and every one of you as selected schools this year. And with that, I'm going to turn it back to the president.
thank you very much. So we have the honor of having the motion for this read by our board member Pena today. And if these 9 schools and the 2, so I would ask you please to read it at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, President Goldenberg. The resolution in recognition of the 2025 New Jersey Blue Ribbon Schools. Whereas the New Jersey Department of Education identified 9 public schools and the Council for American Private Education identified 2 private schools that met the federal requirements for the National Blue Ribbon Schools program in 2025, and all 11 schools successfully completed the application process with the United States Department of Education and were certified in August 2025 as meeting the requirements to be recognized as 2025 National Blue Ribbon Schools. And whereas 9 of the nominated New Jersey schools were identified in the exemplary high-performing schools category, one of the schools was identified in the exemplary achievement gap closing category, and one of the schools was identified in both the exemplary high-performing and exemplary achievement gap closing categories based on 2023-2024 school performance. And whereas the United States Department of Education notified states on August 29, 2025 of the discontinuation of the National Blue Ribbon Schools program, now therefore be it resolved that the New Jersey State Board of Education and the Commissioner of Education recognize the following 11 schools as 2025 New Jersey Blue Ribbon Schools based on their exemplary performance. And the schools are Bergen County Technical High School in Teterboro, Mansion Avenue School in Audubon, Ridgewood Avenue School in Glen Ridge, Liberty High School in Jersey City, Little Brook Elementary School in Princeton, Hatikva International Academy Charter School, Indian Hill School in Homedale, the Elizabeth Morrow School in Inglewood, Our Lady of Ched. Can somebody help me? Chesterchowa, thank you. School in Jersey City. Exemplary Achievement Gap Closing, Ventnor Elementary School in Ventnor, and Exemplary High Performing and Exemplary Achievement Gap Closing, Roosevelt School in Lodi.
Thank you very much. And now that we've heard the names, I'd like to please ask if we could vote on the resolution. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, it's unanimous. Thank you very much. And I'd like to turn the ceremony portion of this back to our Commissioner Damer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with that, congratulations again to each of you. Really well done. And I know this has been a little bit of an adventure this year, but this is an important recognition of all that you have achieved. And with that, I'd like to introduce Jessica Merville, who's the Director of the Office of Performance Management and was our National Blue Ribbon Schools Liaison for New Jersey. And she will introduce and describe all 11 schools.
Thank you and good morning. I'm excited to recognize these 11 schools today for their exemplary performance. As I read the name of each school, I ask that the designated school or district official come forward to the front of the room to receive a copy of the resolution. Once all are assembled up front, a picture will be taken with Commissioner Damer and State Board President Goldenberg. Ventnor Elementary School in Ventnor City School District in Atlantic County is recognized as an exemplary achievement gap closing school. Representing Ventnor Elementary School is Elementary School Guidance Counselor Jenna DeMauro. The principal, Dr. Carmela Summershoe, was unable to attend today. The school, which serves students in grades pre-K through 4, increased their English language arts and mathematics proficiency rates for their economically disadvantaged students and Hispanic Latino students by more than 20 percentage points from the 21-22 school year to the 23-24 school year. Bergen County Technical High School of Teterboro in the Bergen County Vocational Technical School District is recognized as an exemplary high-performing school. Representing Bergen County Technical High School is Assistant Principal Rosario Cabanilla. The principal, Mr. David Tankard, was unable to attend today. This school is recognized based on proficiency rates of over 90% for both English language arts and mathematics and a 4-year graduation rate of 100%. Roosevelt School in the Lodi School District in Bergen County is recognized as both an exemplary high-performing school and an exemplary achievement gap closing school. Representing the Roosevelt School, which serves students in grades pre-K through 5, is the principal, Mr. Jack LaPerry. This school saw increases in their mathematics proficiency rate of 11.5 percentage points for their economically disadvantaged students and 19.7 percentage points for their Hispanic Latino students from the 21-22 school year to 23-24. They also exceeded state standards for student growth and ELA for the 22-23 and 23-24 school years with ELA proficiency rates of over 70%. Mansion Avenue School in Audubon Public School District in Camden County is recognized as an exemplary high-performing school. Representing Mansion Avenue School is the principal, Ms. Bonnie Smeltzer. The school, which serves grades 3 through 6, exceeded state standards for student growth for ELA in the 23-24 school year and saw their ELA proficiency rate increase from 64.8% in the 22-23 school year to 71.4% in the 23-24 school year. Ridgewood Avenue School in Glen Ridge Public School District in Essex County is recognized as an exemplary high-performing school. Representing Ridgewood Avenue School, which serves grades 3 through 6, is the principal, Dr. Keisha Harris. This school exceeded state standards for growth in mathematics in 23-24, and their mathematics proficiency rate increased from 77.7% in 22-23 to 83.6% in the 23-24 school year. Liberty High School in Jersey City Public School District, thank you, in Hudson County is recognized as an exemplary high-performing school. Representing Liberty High School is the principal, Monica Graziella. This school had an ELA proficiency rate of 90.4% and a mathematics proficiency rate of 72.7% in 23-24, and also had a 100% four-year graduation rate. Littlebrook Elementary School in Princeton Public School District in Mercer County is recognized as an exemplary high-performing school. Representing Littlebrook Elementary School, which serves grades pre-K through 5, is the principal, Mr. Luis Ramirez. This school exceeded state standards for student growth in both ELA and mathematics for 23-24, and their English language arts proficiency rate increased from 67.7% in 22-23 to 77.3% in 23-24, and their mathematics proficiency rate increased from 77.8% in 22-23 to 81.5% in 23-24. Hatikva International Academy Charter School in Middlesex County is recognized as an exemplary high-performing school. Representing Hatikva International Academy Charter School, which serves grades kindergarten through 8, is the principal, Dr. Marcia Grayson. In 23-24, the school exceeded state standards for student growth in both English language arts and mathematics, and their ELA proficiency rate was 88.8%, and their mathematics proficiency rate was 81.5%. Indian Hill School in Holmdel Township School District in Monmouth County is recognized as an exemplary high-performing school. Representing Indian Hill School, which serves grades kindergarten through 8, is the principal, Ms. Lisa Vitale. In 23-24, the school exceeded state standards for student growth in both ELA and mathematics. Their 23-24 ELA proficiency rate was 85.1%, and their mathematics proficiency rate was 78.4%. The Elizabeth Morrow School, a private school in Inglewood, is recognized as an exemplary high-performing school. Representing the Elizabeth Morrow School is the head of school, Dr. Mark Beck. This school serves students from age 2 to grade 8, and they were recognized based on student achievement that ranked in the top 15% nationally on standardized assessments. And finally, Our Lady of Czestochowa, a private school in Jersey City, is recognized as an exemplary high-performing school. Representing Our Lady of Czestochowa School is the principal, Mrs. Madeline Martineau. This school serves students from preschool to grade 8. The school follows the responsive classroom approach, and their commitment to academic rigor has led to the school being recognized for their exemplary performance. Please let's give another round of applause for our 2025 New Jersey Blue Ribbon Schools. Now we're going to try to figure out how to get you all in a photo. Sorry to be bad. I need that. Taking a picture.
Thank you very much.
Great. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. And one of your items for consideration. Sure. Thank you so much. Your contributions for our students are remarkable. We appreciate it so much. Okay, so now we'll kick it back to our commissioner to continue with our meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. Congratulations to all 11 schools. Our first item for consideration as a standing item is for appointments. We do not have any appointments this month, so we'll move right into agenda item B. Another standing agenda item, certification of school districts. And due to the schedule, we do not have any districts for certification this month, so we're right on to item C. This is a resolution to accept donated funds. And I am pleased to announce today, Tom's River Jazzercise Organization has donated funds totaling $150 for the sole use of supporting student activities such as field trips, yearbooks, and student clubs. Kim Murray is here from the Office of Special Education to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions at this time? Hearing none, I'd like to go ahead and ask for a motion to accept the donated funds. Thank you very much, Dr. Butcher. May I please have a second? Thank you. Opportunity again for any comments or questions? Hearing none, may I please have a vote? All those in favor of accepting the funds, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions at this time? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving into item D, student transportation. Today, I present at adoption level amendments and new rules at chapter 27, which is student transportation. This chapter establishes provisions for ensuring the safe transportation of students to and from school and school-related activities. This rulemaking includes an amendment upon adoption in response to stakeholder feedback. Dave Corso and Alan Dupree are here to walk you through those amendments.
Thank you, Commissioner. Madam President, fellow board members, I'm here to walk you through the final adoption level of NJAC 6A:27 student transportation. Just a quick overview. The purpose of this chapter is to ensure the safe and efficient transportation of students to and from school and school-related activities. The scope of the chapter governs the transportation of students to and from school and school-related activities. It contains rules governing contracts for student transportation and the rules delineating the department's responsibility in its oversight of student transportation. I'll give you a summary of the proposed amendments and new rules. One of the amendments will clarify the calculation of aid and loop payments for non-public school students. And another rule will allow school districts to designate school personnel to drive students to and from school in private or district-owned vehicles while exempting them from certifications and standards that apply to school buses and drivers. And the last proposed new rule will establish procedures needed to implement the non-public school consortium transportation program established by Public Law 2003, Chapter 326. The only amendment at adoption is based on input we received, we are changing the deadline from July 15th to August 15th. And the language is, it's delineated in the language. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And is that because the school year begins August 15th?
Well, it begins closer to the school
Closer
year.
to the school year.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So this is at adoption level. So are there any questions for Department of Education at this time?
Can
Sure.
I ask a question? So if we switch the date from July 15th to August 15th, all personnel then would have to be vetted, everything's,
Before,
I'm just wondering if that August 15th, there's some schools now that are starting so early. And then board meetings have to happen, to have local boards,
yes.
a final approval. Are there any districts that are falling in the gray area there? Or are we confident that everyone, if we're, looking at personnel and things like that, that there aren't any problems with that change of date?
And I just to jump in. So first of all, this is setting the no later than.
Yeah.
So they can, if they started earlier, for example, I don't think we have any schools starting that early. This is also related to the new provision, which was passed in the new law. So this is school personnel that drive a personal or school vehicle for to and from school. So it's kind of a narrow thing, but these are school employees already. So they've already gone through the background check and things like that. So there's not additional processing that needs to
Okay,
happen.
so they're already approved. Thank you for that clarification. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Very good. Are there other questions? If not, may I please have a motion? Thank you very much, Board Member Bennett. May I please have a second? Thank you very much, Board Member Butcher. Any other questions before we vote? Hearing none? Oh, okay.
And I just wanted to say thank you for this piece of this work that has been completed. I think it's, again, going to be such a game changer for so many districts. So I just want to underscore that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Board Member Pena. All right, so all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions at this time? Okay, we have one abstention. Thank you. But the motion passes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank
work
you.
on this.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. We're moving on to agenda item E, which is a State Board of Examiners and Certification proposal. And today I'm presenting at proposal level amendments to the school nurse substitute credential in the school nurse and school nurse non-instructional endorsements regulations at chapter 9B, which is a State Board of Examiners and Certification chapter. As described last month, these amendments stem from a rulemaking petition submitted by Rosemary Caton and seek to modernize and align our certification requirements for school nurses with New Jersey's participation in the Nurse Licensure Compact, or NLC. The NLC is a multi-state agreement that allows registered nurses to practice across state lines with a single license, provided that they meet uniform licensure requirements. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Jordan Schiff and Lisa Haverhill to walk you through that proposal.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, President Goldenberg and members of the Board of Education. We are pleased to be joining you today to discuss the amendment to Administrative Code Chapter 9B, State Board of Examiners and Certification. Trying to forward the slide. There we go.
May recall the details from last month's presentation. Currently, New Jersey regulations require a New Jersey issued nurse license for school nurse credentials, which may unintentionally limit the candidate pool, even though many nurses working in New Jersey hospitals hold multi-state licenses. On May 5th, 2025, a rulemaking petition was submitted to amend NJAC 6A 9B-75 and 14.3. The goal was to allow nurses holding a multi-state license from an NLC state to qualify for a New Jersey substitute school nurse credential or an educational services certificate with a school nurse endorsement. We consulted with the Division of Consumer Affairs, who confirmed that New Jersey is an NLC member and that New Jersey allows multi-state licenses granting the privilege to practice in the state. In September 2025, the petition was granted. The amendments not only include the original request, but also added changes to NJAC 6A 9B-14.4 regarding school nurse endorsement requirements. By expanding eligibility to licenses, we reduce barriers and increase access to qualified candidates, addressing a critical need in our schools.
The first proposed amendment is to NJAC 6A:9B-7.5. This change allows the Board of Examiners to issue substitute school nurse non-instructional credentials to holders of not only the New Jersey issued nurse license, but now candidates holding a valid multi-state license from an NLC member state. Next, we proposed amending NJAC 6A:9B-14.3, which governs the school nurse endorsement. The amendment adds language to recognize multi-state licenses issued by other NLC states as valid for credentialing purposes.
Finally, we propose changes to NJAC 6A 9B-14.4, which addresses the school nurse non-instructional endorsement. This includes recognizing multi-state licenses for both standard and emergency certification pathways, provided the candidate also meets educational and CPR AED requirements.
We thank you for your time and attention, and we're available to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. I do have a statement. I'm very grateful to Lisa, to you, Ms. Haverhill, and to you, Dr. Jordan, and to our commissioner for moving this forward and fast tracking this so our schools can find more eligible nurses to come in and help them with our many students that need nursing care in every school. So thank you very, very much for making this happen more quickly than usual. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask if there are any other comments or questions at this time. Okay, may I please have a motion to accept the State Board of Examiners certification? Thank you very much. Dr. Butcher, may I please have a second?
Second.
Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. We'll go ahead and vote then. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. Are there any abstentions at this time? Hearing none, the motion carries unanimously, and thank you.
Thank you.
Like any well-coordinated meeting, you two can stay right where you are. Today, I'm presenting the first set of proposed revisions for the 2020 New Jersey Student Learning Standards in the content areas of career readiness, life literacies, and key skills, or CLICS, and science. The proposed revisions reflect the department's continued commitment to ensuring that every student in New Jersey receives a high-quality, future-ready education that prepares them for success in a rapidly evolving world. The revised standards presented today are the result of deep collaboration among expert educators, industry professionals, higher education faculty, and other interested stakeholders statewide. They emphasize clarity, relevance, and are designed to prepare all students to be equipped with the durable skills needed for post-secondary success and lifelong learning. During the discussion today, the team will share major proposed revisions for these two content areas: career readiness, life literacies, and key skills, and science, including reorganized domains, strengthening post-secondary pathways, and enhanced learning progressions. This presentation represents the first of several discussions regarding the proposed revisions and also signals the opening of the public comment period for the revised standards as proposed. This process is foundational to informing the revision to the state's student learning standards through the invaluable input of stakeholders statewide. I look forward to our continued dialogue as we move through the public comment period and toward adoption in the coming months. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Schiff and Lisa Haverhill to walk us through.
Thank you, Commissioner. And as the Commissioner indicated, we are pleased today to introduce the 2025 proposed revisions for the New Jersey Student Learning Standards for Science and Career Readiness, Life Literacy, and Key Skills, also known as CLICS. As you may recall, these are two of 7 content areas that were adopted in 2020. We will be spending more time with you over the next few months to introduce and discuss our proposed revisions to the other 5 content areas. This is only the beginning of what will be a lengthy discussion and feedback process over these standards revisions. There will still be a public comment opportunity as well as regional hearings. We anticipate these content areas will receive public comment and testimony through the new year with the proposed adoption in early spring. These 2 content areas begin first discussion today, and other content areas will follow to provide you with sufficient time to review and explore the revised set of standards. This morning, we will begin with an overview of the proposed CLICS revisions, including some information about the committees that worked on the revisions, and then a summary of the major proposed changes. We will repeat the same process for science and then answer any questions that you may have.
Let's begin by exploring the proposed revisions to the NJSLS CLICS. The process of reviewing these standards starts with convening various committees of experts. These committees review the current standards closely, then recommend any draft revisions. Following our statewide call for participation, the department assembled incredible talent from across New Jersey. 63% of our expert committees held terminal degrees with broad industry experience, and most writing team members held advanced degrees with extensive teaching experience. All 3 state regions were represented, along with suburban and urban districts. Beyond the statistics you see on the screen, I'd also like to note that our expert committees included 37% collegiate professors, 37% industry professionals, and 26% school administrators. The writing committee featured 70% practicing educators and 30% curriculum supervisors.
We plan to discuss the broad recommendations from the expert committee and demonstrate an example of how the writing committee responded to each of the expert recommendations. The committees align the standards with current terminology and utilize clearer organizational logic, making the document easier to navigate. This includes renaming some domains and the reclassification of disciplinary concepts. For example, in domain 9.1, career readiness, we introduced two new disciplinary concepts that frame the performance expectations that previously appeared across multiple domains. Their inclusion together in one domain with the new framing allows for deeper connections to be made across similar learning targets supporting these two concepts. Career exploration is designed to help students connect their interests and strengths to future careers. And career navigation is designed to help students understand labor markets, workplace rights, and community roles that may lead to career and civic contributions.
For this revision, the committees had identified a need to more strongly prioritize career readiness and navigation skills and knowledge that directly support post-secondary and workforce readiness. The career-related standards now better emphasize practical skills such as labor market analysis, credential requirements, workplace safety, and community participation. They also place an emphasis on personalization, where the learning targets are designed to be directly relevant to students' lives. For example, note the subtle differences between these two expectations. The 2020 version asked students to analyze how certain activities could impact post-secondary options, while the proposed 2025 version asked students to evaluate local opportunities and programs and consider how they may align with their own career goals and interests. This learning builds on a generic understanding of certain programs and what they offer, to personalizing the experience for a student to consider local opportunities that would immediately benefit them on their career pathway. It is these subtle but impactful differences that distinguish this proposal from 2020.
The committees found opportunities for the 2020 NJSLS clicks to be streamlined in order to better develop the foundational elements of the content area. They consolidated the standards to focus on core content, streamline the progressions, and make learning targets clearer for educators and students. The proposed revisions to the personal financial literacy domain may provide the clearest example. The domain is now structured into three distinct disciplinary concepts: earning and spending, building wealth, and financial protections. The new categories more closely reflect a logical life cycle approach. Earning and spending build foundational skills for managing income and expenses, while building wealth develops understandings and actionable strategies for saving and investing over time. And lastly, financial protections focuses on teaching students how to safeguard assets through insurance, fraud prevention, and risk management. This revised progression more closely mirrors real-world financial decision-making. The reorganization is proposed to simplify entry points for educators and enhance clarity for students, making the standards more intuitive, actionable, and aligned with real-world financial decision-making. The proposed new domains reflect practical financial behaviors and responsibilities and encourage application of knowledge to authentic scenarios like budgeting, investing, and safeguarding assets.
With regard to some topics, such as financial investment analysis and economic systems, the committees found opportunities to improve the progression from foundational knowledge to more advanced and abstract topics. Some complex concepts were moved to higher grade levels, and early grade expectations were revised to lead to mastery at those foundational levels. For example, this kindergarten through grade 12 strand explores the concept of debt. We begin in the earliest grades understanding what borrowing is and emphasize the importance of returning what is borrowed. We move into upper elementary grades where we talk about what expectations and consequences exist when we borrow money from people and banks. In middle school, students compare and contrast different types of debt, developing an understanding of the conditions where debt may be necessary and what conditions exist to evaluate its necessity. In high school, students have a strong foundation to build on as a result of this intentional learning progression and are now able to compare lenders based on their terms, including interest rates, fees, and promotions, to support their decision-making in the real world. This is immediately relevant to them as they may be considering student loans, car loans, renting, or housing costs.
You may recall a bill Governor Murphy signed into law in 2023, which requires instruction on information literacy. An additional committee comprised of stakeholders identified within this legislation was convened to draft information literacy standards, which were incorporated into CLICS. These standards reflect the critical importance of equipping our nation's future leaders with the skills and knowledge they need to identify fact from fiction and accurately assess information. We incorporated information literacy into CLICS because, as noted earlier, the larger set of CLICS standards is designed to equip students with durable skills for success within and outside of their schooling. One invaluable component of this is the ability to navigate information effectively. In a world where people are overwhelmed with information, students must be educated and empowered to critically evaluate the content they consume and make informed decisions. This new domain builds on the former information and media literacy standards and emphasizes the following: evaluating sources accurately and authentically, ethical use of information, as well as the application of information in decision-making. Consistent with our CLICS approach, we're emphasizing application over task completion, ensuring learning is relevant, transferable, and enduring. These standards are practical and essential for civic, academic, and career success.
Historically, Standard 9.3 focused on industry-specific knowledge in career and technical education programs aligned with the National Career Clusters Framework. Since 2014, that national framework has evolved significantly. The previous knowledge and skill statements have been replaced by industry sector profiles, which provide real-time labor market data. Rather than having static learning targets, the new profiles offer dynamic data and responsive market insights to connect students and educators with the most current industry knowledge and skills. The proposed standards developed by the expert and writing teams considered this dynamic national model carefully and elected to develop a set of performance expectations that complement the framework rather than trying to modify our standards to meet an ephemeral moment in time. This new industry agnostic content crafted by the committees will allow local CTE and career-focused programs to remain flexible and responsive to workforce needs. In addition, the committee leveraged this opportunity to improve access to the skills and knowledge developed within the standard for students outside of approved CTE programs. The content of existing 9.3 standard 9.3's reimagination and inclusion in proposed 9.1 sets a very clear expectation that all students deserve access to high quality career awareness, readiness, and preparation instruction, which requires a carefully designed kindergarten through 12th grade learning progression to develop a strong foundation for post-secondary success. You can see how this has been translated into the revised standards from the highlighted examples provided on the slide. Previously, each cluster had at least one unique performance expectation focused on safety procedures in the workplace. This 2025 proposal presents safety concepts through the lens of workers' rights, so students are aware of their protections. Each career-focused course or CTE program will choose how to address this tailored specifically to the target industry of study, providing flexibility to local programs, but maintaining student awareness of their safety protections in the specific context of their workplace. The content related to quality assurance and control measures will be addressed in the context of each unique career-focused program to best tailor instruction to the applicable worksite. These processes and procedures are addressed fully within the Reimagined Career Clusters framework, which now includes 14 career clusters and 72 subclusters. This modernization allows local CTE programs to be designed to meet the evolving needs of education and industry with the precision and flexibility today's career programs require.
In 2020, concepts of digital citizenship and technology literacy were included within CLICS. The 2025 revisions propose the alignment and integration of educational technologies into Standard 8, Computer Science and Design Thinking. This move brings the educational technology concept closer to the content that contextualizes and complements student learning specific to this body of knowledge. This update enhances visibility and cohesion within the standards framework, reflecting the evolving digital landscape. We look forward to presenting the revisions to the Computer Science and Design Thinking standards with you in the upcoming months. Now, before we move on to science, we'd like to pause here for any questions, thoughts, comments about CLICS.
So regarding on page 10, the quality that's needed, so the incorporation of that to make sure that it's involved in the new wording. Do you want to speak upon that or?
Sure. We took a look at the existing or the proposed standards, saw some opportunities potentially to strengthen it. We're really looking forward to public comment in the coming months to really consider what that can look like because of those dynamic profiles. We want to make sure that we're engaging the industry folks to help us think that through and how not to, we talked about a static learning target that stays in place for 5 years versus those flexible, dynamic industry profiles. So we're trying to balance that. So it's certainly top of mind, and it's something we're hoping to engage with folks over the next few months of
So
public
that'll be
comment.
something brought up with the individual.
Absolutely.
Okay, good.
We have
I
continuing,
feel like there's a little bit lacking there, so
certainly noted.
thank you.
I also, I guess have kind of a common question. So, Caitlin so beautifully today, her, presentation. I'm just gonna read her last line. Students should have reliable and educational space to understand tools which will incorporate more relevant AI, into all facets. So I know we've got science coming up next. We have careers. How are we infusing that into what we're learning here? This seems to me, we're talking about information literacy. This is a valuable time to direct our schools and to work with our students. And I looked at our amazing group of people that were part of it, but I didn't see any students on there. And Caitlin should certainly would be someone who could weigh in. But I really think that this is a valuable opportunity. We're going to look at science also, that we really need to make sure we're giving some direction and look at this. We're talking about careers. We're talking about science. We better start talking about AI.
Yeah, and we will be discussing AI specifically as we discuss the computer science and design thinking standards. That'll be coming up.
You'll see elements of AI also included in the information literacy standards as students start to decipher fact from fiction and source credibility. It's really an interesting dynamic.
It is, and I think I think it's not only students, I think everyone is, where does it all fit in? I'd like us to be ahead of the curve a little bit, and we really have internalized exactly where we're going with AI and how to use it to its best ability.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Madam President, if I could add to Mary Beth's comments.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Great.
Our former president, Arcelio Ponte, you have a
Thank-
comment or a question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to piggyback on
And
Mary
you're
Beth's
muted.
I should not be. I'm not muted on my end. I'm not muted on my end. No, I'm not. Not on my end. Maybe muted there.
This microphone's key.
Are there other
can hear.
questions or comments?
Yeah.
We'll come back to you.
There he
Okay.
is.
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to piggyback on what Mary Beth mentioned earlier, or Mary Beth's question. And I, again, first of all, appreciate the updates in helping to prepare our students for the workforce and the updates to the standards. On slide 8, you showed the progression from foundational to advanced. I would love to see something like that with a focus on AI, right? And so how do we get our students at an earlier age to start discussing the opportunities, the technology itself, and how does that look? And I'm not sure if you're going to get to this later, but how does that look in progressing from the foundational to the advanced? So again, I thought the slide really in terms of showing progression was really helpful. And I would like to see something similar for the AI point that Mary Beth made. Thank
For
you.
our audience, could we turn it to slide 8, please? Thank you. Thank you.
Just
I'm
I
sorry,
think that's not in my.
that's slide 7. Slide
Oh,
8,
I went too fast. Hey,
8 there.
There.
And-
You got
and
it.
Mary-
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Mary Beth, this is, I think, if we saw something akin to this for AI, I think that'd be extremely helpful.
Just before we get to the specific, and I'll turn it back to Jordan for that. For awareness, the documents that we made available, they're attached to this meeting, public, so you can begin reviewing them. And for board members, kind of in your packet. This isn't, what you see on the screen is an example, but we, each kind of content area has several of these. So you can kind of go through and see that progression. And this is a really important thing because we make those linkages. So you can see those numbers identify K through 2 or, up through 12th grade. You can kind of build that progression and see what happens in each area. And then that is then further translated to, or summarized rather, by grade level later in the document. So we kind of show both ways, both the progression for each area, and then it shows it within the respective grade ranges as well. So you can kind of see it in both ways and in more detail. And then more on point on content, AI is kind of, it's not a singular thing and it's not only tech. And I think this is kind of what we've been talking about actually quite a bit today already, and where information literacy fits in, because AI is kind of a technology and a tool that gets us there. But for us as humans interpreting that, we need to be able to differentiate between something that is fact or fiction. We need to understand when an AI chatbot gives us something that's nonsensical, or is very likely built on unreliable information. And so it's building up those skills in addition to understanding how the technology works and those things, which is kind of handled, as Jordan mentioned, that'll come in a later revision. So sorry, with that premise, I'll kick it back to Jordan.
Thank you. I believe we have another comment from Dr. Butcher at this point.
Arcilio and other members. To let you know, this topic did come up, discussed rather extensively. Commissioners summarized some of the comments in your that the whole issue surrounding AI, its pros and cons, how to use it, how to best educate our children, how to best inform our parents. And I think that we see, as the commissioner indicated, that we go through the standards, you're going to see that again. They was just to get it out.
I'm sorry, Ron, I'm having a lot of trouble hearing you. I'm not sure if others are having problems.
After I said all that, I'll repeat it. Can you hear me now, Arcilio? I just wanted to let the members of the board know that the topic of AI, its pros, its cons, how best to use it, when to introduce it, its impact not only on, the individual aspects of the standards that we're looking at, but its overall impact on students, society, et cetera, was brought up during the committee and discussed rather extensively and is going to continue to be. So rest assured, it's not going to, just be something that we look past. The committee's pretty much zeroing in on that.
I'll just add for reference, in our 9.3, we have a strand called information creation and distribution. And that shows a learning progression where we start to talk about what self-created works are and where artificial intelligence comes in. So that's just an example. It's on page 24 of the unofficial draft. If you wanted to take a look at a sample progression, but we're going to see much more as we explore technology as well.
Thank you.
Exactly. Okay, you'll see a lot of opportunities that you'll see this integration of AI across multiple standard areas as we go through the presentations.
Just a little more housekeeping before we get to science. You mentioned the unofficial version. There's an official, and we made both available publicly. And I just want to explain kind of what that is. The official version is the formal bold and bracketed showing all of the changes, which is good and important to have as a formal document. However, it's difficult to read for us mere humans. So we took and made a clean version. So you can kind of see this is kind of what the net result would look like. And so we made both of those versions available both to the board and publicly.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. We'll continue on now with science.
Page 13.
Again, we were fortunate to have exceptional talent on our science committees. All expert committee members hold doctoral degrees. Several are internationally recognized in science education, others are disciplinary experts, and all have extensive classroom experience. They average 20 years of experience. 30% serve urban communities, 70% serve suburban communities. Geographically, 40% represent northern New Jersey, 50% central, and 10% southern New Jersey. Our writing committee was equally impressive. 90% hold master's degrees and 10% hold bachelor's. Nearly a third have over 20 years of experience. Nearly 40% have 16 to 20 years of experience. They represent over a quarter of urban communities, nearly 70% suburban, and 5% rural communities, with 63% representing northern, 21% central, and 16% representing southern New Jersey.
As you may recall, in 2020, New Jersey was the first state to introduce climate change concepts across all of our content areas. After a few years of initial implementation, our experienced educators within our committees were able to provide a few recommendations during this review that could help ensure students have a solid foundation in understanding how humans may impact their environment, preparing them early to explore more advanced concepts regarding climate change in later grades. For example, the 2020 version of performance expectations that are listed here on the slide include climate change as something that impacts the land, water, air, and/or other living things. The expert review committee wanted to revise the learning targets to focus on the foundational concepts that the things people do to live comfortably can affect the world around them. At this grade level, students need to develop an understanding that people can make choices that reduce their impact on land, water, air, and other living things. This positions them well in later grades to explore how climate change can affect those same systems.
Another revision was proposed to ensure a strong focus on developing the disciplinary core ideas, specifically around challenging concepts of weather and climate. The kindergarten through grade 12 learning progression featured here develops student understanding about weather and climate. Beginning in kindergarten, students are building knowledge to develop more sophisticated answers to the overarching question, what regulates weather and climate? When we look at the table, you will see that kindergarten students are learning what weather is and how it is measured, recorded, and that there are patterns of weather that can be observed over time. Looking to the right, you will notice that third graders are learning that weather patterns are recorded at different times and different locations so that future weather can be predicted. They also learn that climate describes an area's typical weather conditions over very long periods of time. In middle school, students figure out that weather and climate are influenced by interactions involving sunlight, the ocean, the atmosphere, ice, landforms, and living things. These interactions vary with latitude, altitude, and local and regional geography, all of which that can affect atmospheric flow patterns. Students are beginning to understand what regulates weather and climate. In high school, students make sense of climate science, understanding the actual geophysical mechanisms that drive global climate systems. Through this very intentional design, beginning as early in kindergarten, students develop increasingly sophisticated evidence-based explanations for what regulates weather and climate. The proposed revision strengthens that early foundation.
And finally, this table outlines the timeline for the review, revision, and adoption of the 2025 New Jersey Student Learning Standards. It highlights key phases from expert recommendations through public comment and final adoption, ensuring transparency and stakeholder engagement throughout the process. As we conclude today's presentation, we want to emphasize that these proposed revisions are not just updates to our standards. They're a reflection of our shared commitment to providing a world-class education for all of our students in New Jersey. They honor the expertise of our educators, the voice of our stakeholders, and the evolving needs of our students. By grounding our work in research, developmental appropriateness, and real-world relevance, we are positioning New Jersey's learners for success in science, career readiness, and life. We thank you and we entertain any additional questions you may have.
It was on, but the light wasn't.
Just a quick question or comment. So we have delineations throughout the state of with the little leaf climate suggestions. Is there a way to do something similar with the AI also, that throughout the standards, we're starting to see these are opportunities, a roadmap to how we can incorporate that a little bit more? I just think this is a valuable opportunity to add that, infuse that, make that very visual for people. Come up with
You
something.
bring up a very important topic that we're very mindful of how important it is to provide resources to the field. We have another stage of this process where we're convening an implementation committee that is looking at all of the areas, including opportunities for cross-content integration, that we can provide those opportunities for the staff in real time when they need it the most, with their voices in the center of this conversation. So whether it's AI, whether it's climate change, whether it's social justice, regardless of what the theme would be, we're going to be relying upon our educators throughout the state to help us to develop those resources that we will project into the field once the standards are moved forward.
I just want to make a comment. After all these years,
Got it.
hello, Arcilio. Anyway,
Yeah.
after all these years, having gone through many, many iterations of how we develop standards, what process we use, what the details are, I have to tell you, I'm very comfortable and pleased with what you're doing on this. And particularly when we get into such critical topics like AI and its impact, not only on itself, but the other standards themselves. And I really look forward to having this conversation. I'm very happy with the process that's going on.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, please. Mr. Rose.
And I would just also like to reiterate how much I definitely do value that the Department of Education is not just incorporating AI literacy or AI technology as its own subgroup, but truly understanding how it's very multifaceted and the impact that it's having in English education, career readiness, information literacy. And I do appreciate how you've definitely mentioned that when it comes to revising these standards, it's not just purely adding one section for AI, but really seeing how it incorporates and is influenced in so many areas. And I just want to definitely give credit to that. And I'm very enthusiastic to see computer science in the upcoming months when AI is more of a focus.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else at this time? Thank you for the presentation. We look forward to hearing more and appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we can, there's nothing else, no new business to discuss. Is there anything else, Commissioner? All right, may I please have a motion to adjourn? Thank you very much. I hear you. Board Member Pena was first and Board Member Butcher second. That's 4 seconds. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any objections? All right. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful November.